going on, my lovely people? I'm SystemCheck66. Welcome to the channel. We're talking about Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater getting remade by Virtuos Studios. So let's delve into it. Is this actually just, wishful thinking, people digging too much into things? What is this? Is this real? Is this genuine? It might be a bit of both, let's just say that. A lot of people thought that I forget the creators of, was it Bloober Team? The creators of that Medium game. I think they created Medium. A lot of people actually uncovered that they might be working on a Silent Hill 2 remake, and it did actually come out that there was a Silent Hill 2 remake, and it does look decent, it looks good, but we're going to have to see. Let's hope Bloober Team don't fuck it up, because they have the template, and they have everything there to make something that can be a really good remake, and it looked good from the trailers, but that's the trailers, so it's going to be a different sort of circumstance when it comes to playing the game, and people actually getting their hands on it. Anyway, this is regarding Virtuos Studios. I don't know anything about Virtuos Studios. I know that they were bought out or they joined with Tencent, and Tencent is this massive Chinese corporation, and they make mobile games and all kinds of other sort of games and stuff. I think they published one of the Terminator games, the recent Terminator game, which, to be honest, I don't think is that great. I can see why people have found a soft spot in their heart for it, but personally, it's just not up to snuff for what I want from a Terminator game. It should be fucking amazing, do you know what I mean? And it isn't. But besides the point, I'm not telling people what they can like, what they don't like. That's fine. I'm just saying that Tencent to me, they're a corporation that sort of tries to roll out things fast at minimal cost. That type of corporation, and then try and make loads of money because it's got a name attached to it. And I feel like the fact that Virtuos Studios is sort of partnered with them, and they are also like this huge company based in Shanghai, I believe it is. And the fact that they are being given the rights to publish, I'm guessing, Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake. I don't know who's going to be developing it. It screams alarm bells. It's a bit off-putting to me. So, at first, I'm reading from Eurogamer here. There was a mysteriously deleted video that suggested the Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake may be announced at the Game Awards. Now, this was the 30th of October 2022. So it was actually discovered that it used stock Unreal 5 footage, and it's now thought the video is a hoax. So anyone who's thinking, oh yeah, I've seen it, or that it is being made in the Unreal 5 engine, no, that's bullshit. Apparently it's a hoax. So, that's cleared up. Now, we go to comicbook.com. It says Metal Gear Solid 3 remake rumors intensify following new evidence. Now, I'm a huge Metal Gear Solid fan. It kind of killed the franchise with Phantom Pain, but at the same time, Phantom Pain does have its plus points. It's got some great moments. It's got some great things about that game. It's just the story sort of fell flat, definitely, and it was unfinished. So it's an unfinished experience, an unfinished game, unfinished product, and Konami just rushed it out the door. And I get why they cut Kojima off, but at the same time, you might as well just put that money in there and finished it. My feelings on Konami are, I'm watching them very closely. I'm watching to see what they're doing, because they're not the greatest company in the world. They used to be really on top, and now it's almost like they're trying to, come back into the gaming scene when they said, oh, we're not going to bother anymore. And now they're like, oh no, we need to get back into the gaming scene. And so they've got like these remakes of Silent Hill 2, all these new Silent Hill games, trying to remake Metal Gear Solid 3. Firstly, my opinions on remaking Metal Gear Solid 3 is, why not remake the original? Okay, MGS3, it isn't super old at this point. It's the same sort of situation with Resident Evil 4. Would a remake be welcome? Definitely. It's a great fucking game. But why not remake the original? Update the controls, everything else. I know it's already had a remake, the Twin Snakes, but you're lucky if you can get that game physically, because it goes for a high price. So, reading from comicbook.com, let's get through it. The long-rumoured Metal Gear Solid 3 remake is looking even more likely thanks to new evidence. The Metal Gear Solid series is one of the most blah 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 beloved, yeah. There are a few people able to make a game like Hideo Kojima, and the Metal Gear Solid series are shining examples of that. Okay, so, showing love to Kojima. For a while there have been a lot of rumours of a Metal Gear Solid 3 remake from Virtuos. It's been a lot of whispers and speculation, but last month, developers seemingly teased that it's happening. In a recent recruiting video, fans spotted an Art of Metal Gear Solid book lying on the desk of an employee, which only caused rumours to heat up. Virtuos is primarily known for being a support studio on a number of major games, so I've seen that they supported with the making of Guardians of the Galaxy and Korra, games like that. So they've worked with all the biggest names in the industry. One Reddit user noted that Konami was listed on the Virtuos client page, leading to intense speculation that this was related to the Metal Gear Solid 3 remake. However, it's probably just a coincidence. Virtuos has worked with Konami in the past on games like Metal Gear Solid V, The Phantom Pain, as a support studio. This doesn't mean the studio isn't working on a reported remake, but it also doesn't mean that it is either. Exactly. Thank you, comic book. Speaking some fucking sense. Thank God. The Game Awards are in December, and it's entirely possible this remake could get an official reveal there. Only time will tell, but many fans are hopeful to see the beloved game reimagined for modern hardware. So this is the thing, it's all up in the air at the moment. I would say that there is a high possibility that it could have been remade, definitely, and we're going to get some sort of early footage and stuff like that, just like Silent Hill 2 is being remade. It's not beyond the realm of possibility that they can take one of their IPs and remake them. But why Metal Gear Solid 3? Like, why not Metal Gear Solid 1, Why not start at the beginning? And a lot of people say, oh, but it's a prequel, so it comes before the timeline. That's great, but in terms of a game that needs to be remade, I'd say it's the original. Like, even though the original's like class, it's still amazing, but it could do with some, polish and some touches here and there for the modern generation, etc, etc. But if MGS3 is getting remade, they want to do it, and then maybe move on to the first game, cool, I'm for it. Maybe remake Peace Walker, whatever you want to do, Konami. But just do better this time, because last time you didn't, and then you bowed out of the video game industry, and then now you're coming back. Why? Probably because you want to make more dough and more money. That's pretty much the, a lot of people might be like, well, duh, like, obviously. And I'm like, yeah, cool. They need to make more money, but they've gone back on themselves. They said, oh, we're done with it. That's it. We're bound out the industry. We're just concentrating on pachinko machines and, their bottles of smart water that they do for the Konami gyms that they have in Japan. So now they've come back, and it's like, cool, you've come back, that's great. But I want to see you really put your effort in. Do you know what I mean? And not be like last time. As for the Metal Gear Solid 3 remake, at the moment it's just hearsay. It's hearsay. It's not confirmed. There's no, there is no evidence of it being made other than, say, like an employee with a MGS3 book on his desk. Cool. Okay, an art book. That's cool. But if you're a huge fan of games within the game industry and you're a developer and stuff, or an employee of a development studio, then you might have that book, just lying around. Is it like hints and stuff they're doing? They're using the kind of Kojima tactics? Who knows? I know Kojima is supposedly working on a new game. Who knows if it's with Konami or whatever. I've heard rumours that Shinji Mikami is working on a game with Capcom. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's going to come to fruition, because there's a lot of bad blood. There's a lot of kind of between, say Shinji Mikami and Capcom, because of what they did with Resident Evil 4. They, released it on every other platform, and he said, if you do that, I'll chop my own head off. Not that he did that. Obviously, no one's going to do that, but he was like, I'm leaving, I'm gone. So that's why things soured between those two, between Capcom and Shinji. When it comes to Kojima, I don't need to tell you guys. If you're watching this video, you know what's happened with Hideo Kojima and Konami. They really did screw him royally, and he screwed them back, definitely. He went over budget. He I don't know, he fucked it up, but at the same time, they released an unfinished product, so none of them are good in my book in that for that game. A lot of us bought it day one, and I was pissed off, definitely. But they should have, even though it gone over budget and whatever else, they should have just completed that project. They really should have, because then it was like, okay, now you're just trying to nickel and dime people, and you've got the online component, and you have to buy weapons and blah 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 and all that other shit. So it really fucked me off. Like, are they going to do that with Silent Hill 2, the remake? We gotta wait and see. Konami isn't what they used to be. I don't think a lot of video game studios are. They will try and nickel and dime you every chance they can get, and if it means that they do less of the work and they can just have repeated profit on something like, for instance, GTA Online, that's a perfect example of it. If they can have repeated profit for less of the work, not having to spend like tons of money. You've seen it work with GTA Online. This is the sort of stuff they're trying to do. So how they would incorporate that into Silent Hill 2 remake, not the other, side games that they're doing, because I don't know anything really about those. But with Silent Hill 2 remake, how they could incorporate that, I really don't know. But they might be able to. Who knows? Stranger things have happened. So that's my thoughts on the MGS3 remake. We'll see if more news comes out about it and we actually get some definitive, sort of gameplay or screenshots or whatever to actually sort of back up these claims. At the moment, like I said, it's hearsay, it's up in the air, and that's how it is. Would I look forward to it? Would I, if it's done right? Yeah. But Virtuos sort of studios and, you know, partnering with Tencent and stuff, it's all very like, it's all very corporate, and I don't know. So we'll have to keep our eyes open and see what happens. But yeah, as it is, me personally, I've done a remake of Metal Gear 2, Solid Snake, which I've wanted for ages. A lot of people have, because the old games are so old now, they're like 2D and stuff, so I've never really been able to sit down and play through them. And I think that would be great if they could remake those. And then a remake of Metal Gear Solid would be welcome, definitely. At the same time, it was Kojima's thing. That was Kojima's thing, you know. A remake isn't going to change too much, is it, if they stick close? So maybe they won't offend us, sort of like how the Dead Space remake is doing things. At the same time, is it really needed? Like, Metal Gear had its time, you know. It's kind of like Resident Evil, it had its time, and now it's, you know, other than the Resident Evil 4 remake looking incredible, they were of their time, and I feel like now it's like Jurassic Park, the Jurassic Park films. You know, that first film was of its time, even The Lost World. And I feel like, same with Metal Gear, it was of its time, we had Kojima, it was lightning in a bottle. I don't think they're going to capture that again. So, that's my feelings on it. I'd rather if they're going to fuck it up, I'd rather they just leave Metal Gear as it is, and we just have those games to go through, you know, and remember and you know, replay. I just feel like Konami are going to fuck it up, you know. I can't really explain a weird trepidation I have with the new Silent Hill games. I think the Silent Hill 2 remake does look bloody good, but I have a trepidation with it as well. You know, it's almost like they've given it to this studio that, you know, is a bit topsy-turvy, let's say that. Like, people didn't really like the medium. But at the same time, I'm thinking, well, they could do a good job because it's just a remake, you know. And they have like a layer there. There's that base that you can build upon. But I don't want them to change too much. And from the trailer, it didn't look like they had, and it did look impressive. So the trailer did wow me. Having said that, is the gameplay going to stand up? Are those moments from the original Silent Hill going to be incorporated well? Like, this is all stuff that, you know, we have to wait and see. So I'm cautious. You know, I'm optimistic as well at the same time, but I'm cautious, definitely. And when they announce like, Metal Gear Solid 3, you know, remake, it's like, how are you going to do it? How are you going to do this if you are taking this on? So Konami are very corporate, man. I know every company at the moment is extremely corporate. I know they're corporations, that's what they are, but they're very corporate in their mindset. They're thinking sort of how they handle themselves and conduct themselves in business. They're corporate, and they don't really give a shit about anyone else, you know. They just want to make money, and that's shown time and time again with their recent releases and getting rid of PT off of PlayStation Store and all this nasty shit that they've done. So you'll forgive me if I'm not going to jump straight into their open arms and go, yes, you know, let's see these games, are they going to be amazing? Like, no, I'm not going to be like that, because they have burned people in the past. Whatever you think about their relationship with Kojima, it doesn't matter. They still sold an unfinished product to the masses, you know, to gamers, and that ain't on. That's not right. So that fucked me off big time. And then they created, what was it, the fucking shitty one that came out after that. I forget what it's called. Metal Gear Survive. That's it. And that was dog shit. And they were just trying to rein in on that Metal Gear Phantom Pain money, and you could tell. So you'll forgive me if I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, Konami, like they can. You know, they can, yeah, sure, they can do no wrong. Of course, no. You know, so we'll have to see. And I'm not saying every other games company isn't like that at the moment. They are, but I think they need to get a clue and learn that that ain't the way. That is not the way, boss. That's not what you should be doing right now. The world is changing, and a lot of people are voting with their wallets. So you better come correct. You better bring out these cool Silent Hill titles. They better be good. Otherwise, you might as well give up and just leave the industry altogether. So we will see. We will see. Hopefully we get some news on Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake, if it is actually a thing, if it does exist. And I'll keep you up to date with any of the Silent Hill 2 Remake news as well. The other games, I'm not too sure. I don't know too much about them. The other things, the other Silent Hill bits of media that they're trying to make. But Silent Hill 2 Remake, I will keep you guys up to date because that looks promising. And until next time, I've been System Check 66. I'm out of here. Peace.